What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to another, this time with episode 5. Episode 4 was really good. Of course, we had another death at the end of the episode. To be honest with you guys, I've actually thought of something in my own time. I've made this point earlier on in the series about the dolls all being women. We haven't actually seen anyone apart from women die so far. This is the relative sister of one of the children in class 3. It makes you question why. I mean, we know it can kill family members, relatives and such. But it makes you question, it chose to kill the girl with the glasses, but it didn't choose to kill the boy in the class. It actually went for a female in the family, so maybe it's only women that can kind of contract this curse, perhaps. Like I said, all the dolls are women, so maybe that also links in with the dolls having some kind of shared fate. On that point, I've actually just realised, didn't even think about this till now, the doll, I don't think we saw anything with a doll and a neck, but we did see a doll fall down last episode, didn't we? A doll fell down while Koichi was in the dollhouse place. And obviously this woman has fell down from an elevator, so maybe it might, yeah, maybe those might be kind of signals as to what happens. Yeah, just been theorizing in my own time, and then started watching another episode. Oh, oh no. I thought for a second there she had a I imagine if I went back there might be a sign with a doll with something around their neck or falling over or something, but I thought I saw the bandage on her eyes over her neck, then I was like, oh, that's the one that signifies the first girl, but no, I don't think that is the case. So yeah, I think with that theory I just spoke about, the next time we see someone die, if it's a man, obviously that will totally go against what I just said there, but if it's a girl, I wouldn't say that 100% confirms my theory, but that really kind of, I mean, one occasion you can't judge anything. Two, it's like there might be something there. 3 occasions of that happening, I think, would be it'd be more than coincidence. Also, another point I saw is, and I totally agree with, they're actually killing off like all the best side characters, which is a shame. I don't think that's ever a good thing, to be honest with you. Makes you feel like no one's safe, which is good. But they're your favourite characters. So which one is Mizuno? And she's back again. That's something I another thing I thought. Sorry, just to pause again so quickly. But I also thought again, she's. I'm not sure how accurate the translation was, honestly, but May said that she better not come to school because Keiichi's there. Keiichi again. Koichi. They're very similar. I think, is that on purpose, by the way? Koichi and Keiichi. Yeah, she said she better not come. So like, does May affect things by herself? Because everybody ignored her existence. They're finding it harder to ignore her existence because of Keiichi's questioning, which is maybe bringing it more up within them. They're having more perception of it. But if Keiichi wasn't here, fuck's sake, Koichi wasn't here, none of this would be happening. I'm pretty sure. That would be the case. Like if yeah, if Koichi didn't join the class or anything, I don't think any of this would be happening. I had a theory that maybe he's either maybe enhancing it by bringing it to their attention and bringing it up more, and therefore kind of bringing it into existence, or it could be totally the opposite, where he's actually like they brought him into the class. It's not that they bought him or anything, but he's joined the class and he's like a kind of defense mechanism in a sense. Maybe he's a countermeasure, someone almost like completely immune to it that can keep everyone's mind, supposed to maybe keep everyone's minds off it, or have the attention of May. Maybe it's just like he's a sacrificial lamb and he's the only one intended to die in place of everyone that would die, therefore saving a lot of people. I don't think that's the case, but yeah, I'm not sure if he's like a countermeasure against it, because at the minute all we're seeing him doing is actually enhance the effects from people dying, aren't we? From him getting involved with May, judging from what everyone else's reactions is, that seems to be kind of making it worse, and they're trying to not have him involved with her. But I wonder why she herself wouldn't want to be here. Maybe she doesn't want to cause this. This is just like how she is. She doesn't actually want these people to die, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's an amplifier. Maybe he's a countermeasure. Who knows? He is a man, which is another interesting thing, isn't it? Like, you got to question, if he believes in it so much and thinks about it all the time and thinks about her, why is he and his family not having any misfortune? He's like the most kind of in depth with this currently, anyway. But he wasn't born here or anything, so maybe he's not cursed per se. Maybe it's only people that like born or live here or something. I don't know. I've been thinking a lot, if you guys can tell. Lots of possibilities. Yeah, from their perspective, he's talking to no one. And let's not forget also that that glass almost dropped on that girl. We haven't seen anything like that happen to any guys. $72. And isn't that around about when The Omen came out? So there's the photo. Where is this girl that they're saying is off to like the side? You know that must matter. I don't want to pause again. I want to pause, but I won't. But you know that must matter, surely. Like, why would she? There's got to be something. I mean, obviously, women do die during childbirth. That is just that does just happen sometimes. But the way he spoke there, more to that, isn't there? It's one of my favourite things about mysteries, though, like theorising what could possibly happen. And this, of course, again reminds me a little bit of Final Destination again. The first one where it's like, oh, it's quite suspicious because the main character has ties with everybody that's dying. One of my favourite scenes that comes out of that is the scene with Tony Todd, rest in peace. I love that guy. He's the morgue practitioner, I think, whatever it is, I don't know. Guy in the morgue. Obviously, he was the Candy Man. Been in a lot of horror movies and stuff. He voiced what's his name? Venom recently in one of the Spider-Man games. Got a very distinct voice. So what's this writing on the desk that we saw in the preview? Who is dead? Who is dead? 2 women. So far. You. I almost think it might be worth killing Koichi. Sounds terrible. But again, he's seemingly the one kind of bringing this out more. Save everyone else's lives, it might just be worth killing him. They're 2 different things though, killing someone and being a victim of this curse. I doubt that will happen. I'll just push him in that lake or something. Get rid of him. Then you guys might live. I don't agree with that. I mean, again, from our point of view, yeah, that seems like it would be the case, but I genuinely feel like she's just doing the best for everyone. People's lives are at risk. Jesus. Holy crap. He just tried to say the name. He's having a heart attack. I forget what was wrong with this guy, but he couldn't run, could he? And as predicted, that kind of went against everything I said in the intro about it being only women. So, damn, it really happens that quickly. Like, he came to accept it. He was going to talk all about it, and then he died. I think. Honestly, I think this teacher's probably got a good tactic. Just don't talk to this kid. Might die. Like I said, I feel like at some point they might actually just try and kill him. So yeah, he's usually sat there in the class, I think, isn't he? No one talking to him. So that's the new countermeasure, I think. Yeah, he did die. Again, not a bad not a bad choice from all these people. It probably feel bad for a while just having to ignore him. But it's almost like he's main now. They're choosing to ignore him as well. So he's like essentially a source of the curse as well. Maybe he is this. Maybe again. Maybe May's like the essence of the curse, and it needs to be like funneled through something to seep into these guys' lives. Is maybe what I see it as. There's like it's almost like the barrier between like the spirit world and the human world. There's something in between, so she can't quite get to him. She has to use like some kind of intermediary. I'm imagining like a huge plate of glass, and there's a straw like in the middle, and Koichi's that straw, and she's just like funneling through it into these guys' lives. So if they ignored her, and that seems to work. So if they ignore, I want to say Keiichi, Koichi, if they ignore him as well, things should be okay. But it's a lot easier to ignore something that they can't see than it is to ignore something that they can. So yeah, got a feel for that Kobayashi guy. He was just trying to be a nice kid, wasn't he? He was actually just trying to do something nice and be kind of normal. But well, that got him. And like I said, that completely disproves what I said about the woman thing. Maybe they're all just going to take a vow of silence in general. No more talking at school. I guess that could also work. No one in class speaks to anyone. So yeah, I think that was his sister that was the nurse. That lesson there was for him. All for him. Silence. The lesson. Back here we are. Maybe the dolls have left. That's another thing I noticed, to be honest, when I went on between this episode and last episode. I noticed that every episode in this series is named is named after like designing a doll. So that's a list of it. So she is involved. Exactly like what they said in the introduction of the series. She's there, but you just got to ignore her. Like yeah. So yeah, maybe the dolls are. I don't know. Maybe they have more involvement than I think. Maybe they have less. I don't really know what to make of the doll stuff. To be honest. Honest, these weren't the important questions I was kind of asking. Man, we got to stop using that in this show. That's true. That's actually like fact. Again, it's kind of tough to hear from her mouth because she might be lying, but I'm going to assume she's telling the truth. Um, yeah, I'm just going to assume she's telling the truth. So she actually is a normal person. She's not actually cursed or anything. She's not actually like a ghost. I assumed this whole time she was like a ghost girl, especially from the reaction of the first girl's death, the one with the umbrella in her throat, because her reaction was like she just saw a ghost, but maybe that was just a reaction to seeing Koichi and Mei together or something. I don't know. So they're doing to Koichi what they have always done to this girl. Again, surely that's a lot easier kind of said than done. It totally ignoring people. I mean, if your life depends on it, you would try as hard as possible. But even then, it's like her existence. She. But again, I guess Koichi now kind of realizes exactly how it feels from her perspective and such. So maybe, maybe it is the case that, like I said, Koichi is like maybe I assumed the curse was coming from Mei, so I got that bit kind of mixed up. But maybe she's also in the same boat of if you talk to her about any of this or anything like that. Same as with Koichi, something bad ends up happening to her. It's almost like these two are kind of cursed people, kind of walking curses that if you talk to them about anything to do with those deaths and such, then you're dead. I don't know. So now he's a ghost. So now if the show started now, I would assume that he's a ghost, like I did with her. Again, I still don't know if I believe her. So much weirdness surrounding her. What? So Misaki was the trigger. Class 3 drew closer to death. So again, I'm assuming it's like, I've got a vision in my head of like the astral kind of plane. This class in this world is especially close to that kind of demon death stuff. The year after, somebody dies each month. Student or someone from the family, we know this. And then it's when the number of students in the class increases by 1. I feel like the wording there is terrible. Is it not? Like, surely in Japanese it must feel like a different sentence, because that doesn't make sense. They're talking about it like it's not increasing by 1. There's someone in the class. Maybe they're talking about it as the class increases by 1, but one of these guys actually is like a ghost or something, some kind of like vengeful spirit, and it's more like a imposter rather than increases by 1. I don't know. That's what I'm assuming. Maybe it is just like he obviously he's a new student, so it makes sense. But why would there be so many countermeasures and all of this, and like the countermeasure group and stuff? Why would they even bother? Because he's already joined the class. Like, it's already set things in motion. If it was the addition of 1 extra student to the class, why would the school ever add an extra student to the class? So why would he have been accepted to the school if this was like common knowledge? Like, again, if that was the case, it sounds terrible. Again, if I was one of these kids from the class and I knew this, I would kill this kid before he joined the school, because he would get a bunch of students killed. Again, it's much easier said than done to kill someone, I imagine. I doubt I'd be able to, but if it was life or death and it was me, even if it was just me, let alone a bunch of other people from the school, I'd definitely consider it. But I feel like, again, it's not totally accurate when she says it's when the number of students increases by 1. Like I said, I feel like it's maybe actually more. I don't know, because I don't know the future, but I assume it's more closer to when something that isn't human, perhaps, or someone pretends to be like a human or something, has joined the class. They're the source of the curse. So what I said with Koichi earlier about him kind of funneling the curse into everyone, maybe he is the kind of the imposter in that. It's like Among Us. He's like the imposter. You got like vote him out, and yeah, I don't know. Let's hear the rest before before I get even more confused. But that's the way that's worded makes it actually even more confusing than answers anything, to be honest. I wonder if that is accurate, because like I said, that doesn't feel like that makes much sense if that is like 100% spot on. I don't know. And he says, like, who is it? It was obviously you, if that's the case. So that's what it means. I think there's an extra. It's more like there's an extra one, not a new student. There's an extra student. So it's actually almost like Koichi is exempt from being it, then, surely. Sorry to pause again. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot of stuff being explained right now, isn't there? So yeah, surely that makes actually Koichi, because he joined the class later on. I don't know. Was he always on the class list even before he joined the school? I doubt that would be the case, but he very well might be. But yeah, surely this exempts him from being the extra. And again, I think I've now got a better idea of what that meant. It's not that there's an additional one. An additional student. That again, that makes it sound like the way that was worded. It makes it sound like there's the class, and then anyone additional to the class, like someone that joins midway through, like Koichi, would be the kind of extra. But the extra is just someone that is in the class that shouldn't be, and they're kind of like the source of this curse stuff, I assume. Again, that should exempt Koichi, but I'm not exempting him. The way that the anime was portrayed to this point, you'd think it was this girl, and maybe they're assuming it's her. Maybe everyone in the class is assuming it's her, but maybe they're all wrong. Not sure how you can prove something like this. Okay, I think I'm getting a better idea. My head is starting to hurt a little bit, but yeah, I think I'm getting a better idea how it works. So it also changes everyone's memories, so that person's just a normal person. It does sound ridiculous, to be honest. $16. Wow. So as we've seen, there's definitely more than one person a month, isn't it? We've had 3 people die already. So there is a ghost. So that's why that said that on the desk. Okay. Yeah, there's an imposter. Okay. So they don't even know that they're the imposter. Sorry to pause again. That subtitle there went by quite quickly. Okay. Again, I'm not sure what the rules are to what can be said, but this would have been lovely if this was. I mean, she's not dead, but she could also be the extra. So who knows? She would be the most obvious extra. So I kind of doubt it's her. To be honest, they've made it seem like she's like the cause of everything thus far. So I almost yeah, it's kind of horror kind of logic to assume that she's not. Um, so yeah, the people connected to the class who have died over the years. So she says people, not person. So that there's a person that comes back from one of the people that have died over the years and rejoins the class, but they don't even know that they're dead and they're the imposter. So how the hell is anyone else meant to figure that out? Fucking hell. I was not expecting so much to be explained in this episode. Still begs plenty of questions, don't get me wrong. Fucking useless. What was that gonna do? That's very superficial stuff right there. Talk about it. Ah, interesting. So all that needs to be done. I mean, it's not even that bad, is it? It's really not bad at all. I mean, obviously, it's horrible for the person that gets ignored. I guess they're pretty. To be honest, I guess they're pretty good at ignoring people. uh, yeah, they must have got pretty good at it by now. So all they need to do for everyone to be safe forever is just ignore one person, so the dead person can go on living, which is almost like a good thing in a way. Like that person now gets a chance to actually live a little bit longer. So yeah, it's all kinds of devil soul behavior. Like it's not good. It's not good stuff. But at least no one dies. Seems like a pretty damn. Seems like a pretty like from horror movies I've seen and such. It seems like a pretty good damn payoff. Like no one dies. All you've got to do is ignore someone for a year. Again, don't get me wrong. That person that gets ignored for that year must be a horrible year for them. But it's not the end of their life. So because Koichi is bringing more attention to Mei, that and they're accepting her existence more because he keeps bringing it up, and as we saw with Kobayashi at the start of the episode, he fully was prepared to accept her existence and talk about her. Because he'd done that, he then died. Interesting. I feel like the floodgates are they just like open now? Does anyone even need to like if from now on everything went perfectly for the countermeasures and no one spoke to May or acknowledged her existence, would anyone else die? I feel like they probably still would because, as with May described it, if that like I don't know, like, but we don't know yet, I guess. But if everything was to go perfectly from here to then, would nobody else die? I feel like if after Koichi found this out, surely, I mean, it would be pretty damn impossible for him to not believe May exists now after all this. So I think it's actually quite a good idea, to be honest, that the kids actually like what happens now. I think it's a really good idea that they all start ignoring Koichi because there's no way of getting him to not realize May is a actual person. There is no way to get him to ignore her existence. So the only thing you can do about that is to not ignore his existence as well. So I think that's good. But now that there's two people not existing in the class, I guess that wouldn't really change anything as long as there's at least one person that doesn't exist in the class that is there. Like everything is kind of good. I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. Again, a lot to think about here. Like fucking hell. Let's watch the preview quickly. A lot of questions answered here. Again, there's still questions to be answered. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot cleared up here, isn't there? Bloody hell. I think they did a pretty good job for the most part. I think again, most of the issues is honestly the translation. I imagine there's a term similar to imposter, which is extra, what they considered extra or additional person in the subtitles. I imagine that's just quite a rough translation of what a Japanese word for that would be. So apologies about that, my dog started barking. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Again, really good episode here. There's a lot to take in. A lot explained here. Pretty much the whole. If this is true, and I assume it is all true now. If this is, yeah, pretty much the whole plot has been explained here, to be honest. Which is interesting considering we're only 5 episodes through. I did think it would actually be a bit of a slower burn in that regard and would find out little bits and kind of piece together little bits as we did go along. Because that seemed to be the way we were going so far. And then this episode just went boom. Here's exactly what's happening. Again, I'm not sure how accurate it would be because imagine if she is the extra. Well, I guess it wouldn't change anything, would it? Because she wouldn't realise she's the extra. It is amazing that they chose her out of everyone. She is like, she very much stands out compared to everyone else in the cast, and they chose her to ignore. I feel like there's, to be honest, she's quite an ignorable presence in the terms of like she's quite quiet and reserved and such. So maybe she is like the optimal choice, but looks wise, she stands out the most. I wouldn't be able to like not look at her, if that makes sense. She'd stand out too much in front of everyone else that I wouldn't be able to not acknowledge her existence. Yeah, totally understand the actions of the countermeasures group now with their reaction to Koichi and totally ignoring him. Like I said, it's the smart thing to do. Absolutely the smart thing to do. I totally agree with everything they're doing so far, to be honest. But yeah, really interesting kind of rules and such, and it kind of makes the mystery almost impossible in a sense. The fact that there's for now anyway, it might end up changing, but for now, there's absolutely no way to find out who this imposter is. Yeah, I guess it doesn't even really matter who the imposter is, does it? As long as they ignore someone, that's fine. But what would be to happen if we found out who the imposter is? Is there a way of like again exercising them? Is there people that can do that in this world? Yeah, it still begs quite a lot of questions, doesn't it? It's like even if you find out who the fake person is, it's like doesn't really change much of anything, does it? Yeah, thank you guys for watching. We still don't know, like, we know that I guess we know the kind of origin of the curse and such, but there's still like questions surrounding the curse that we don't know too much of, isn't there? If you guys, I don't think it shows every student here, but if there was someone who you expect to be the additional person, who would you think it is out of the cast? I reckon it's someone they show here. She is a very interesting case because she's almost so oblivious. She's almost it's one of those horror things. She's so obvious that it like it isn't obvious, but it is, but it isn't. You know what I'm saying? Like she's the head of the countermeasures. She is the person you least expect to be the extra. Yeah, because of that, she's actually maybe the most conspicuous, but because of that, she's actually the least. It's one of those kind of paradoxes. So yeah, she's definitely a big character of interest in that regard, I think. Honestly, this person is for me, but I almost feel like they're too obvious. Like this person here, they're almost like too meager and too kind of questionable for me that I don't think it would be this person. But again, there's no real way of telling because they're no different from a normal person. This girl obviously looked very suspicious. So it's kind of like this. It's kind of like the Scream series in a way, isn't it? It's like trying to find the Scream killers, the ghost faces in a Scream movie, which I always really like doing. Although not as much in recent years. I feel like the last two movies have dropped the ball a little bit. Everything away from Wes Craven hasn't been to my taste as nearly as much as the original four. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Like I said, lots of bits here to go over. If any of you guys can help me out even more in the comment section, that would be very much appreciated. But yeah, do let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. And I'll see you guys next time with episode 6.